Where are the others? Where's the rest of the Resistance?
I don't know.
Ah! No!
Terminator Resistance was released in 2019 and was developed by Teon and published by Reef Entertainment. It originally came out on PC, PS4 and Xbox One, but then of course was released as an enhanced edition on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S PlayStation 5 in 2021 and Xbox Series X and S in 2023. However, this footage is from the PS5 version of the game, and I have to say that although it is a short game, and I will get into that, Terminator Resistance, for a Terminator fan like myself, I've loved Terminator for over 30 years. I watched it far too young. And Terminator, I only really watched Terminator 1 and 2. I don't really like the third one. Salvation was alright. Genesis was off the rails, and I know what happens in Dark Fate, and I'm not watching it. I refuse. But Terminator 1 and 2 are fantastic. But this game, for a fan of the original Terminators, my god, this game is nostalgic as hell. It has the music from Terminator 1 and 2. The art design is on point, especially for the T-800s. The voice acting is quite good. The gunplay is very good here as well. There is resource collecting and gathering for crafting, or you can trade with the Resistance and all that kind of crap. There is different dialogue options which will improve or just completely destroy relationships with other characters. It's not supremely deep, it just changes a couple of outcomes and whatnot, but it is definitely there, especially for multiple playthroughs, which is pretty cool. There are side quests to do, as the game is sort of semi-open world, with like mini open world design, but you can't, although you do return to different areas, you have to do the side quests in the moment. Basically, if you try to leave the area to progress the story, it will tell you that you haven't completed these side quests. If you leave now, they'll be failed, so just bear that one in mind. There's a lockpicking mechanic similar to Skyrim's. There is auto-saving, but you save at old computers. I hate save points with a burning passion. It's a very old style gaming gimmick, and I don't want that to return. But unfortunately, a couple of the games I'm currently playing has save points, and this is one of them. So I do hate that. There are documents, notes, and lore and etc. that you can find that are strewn about. There's a hacking mini game which is essentially Frogger, so you can knock about with that and hack turrets and stuff to be on your side, which is pretty cool. I do have to say the game does begin with wanky enemies. It kind of just begins with drones and spider drones and little teeny weeny spider drones, but once the T-800s do turn up, you meet them first at the very beginning of the game, but then when they actually become sort of a physical threat to you within gameplay, you have to have one of the lasers, which sound and look amazing, by the way, because normal weapons do not affect them, like M16, shotgun, handgun, Uzi. They just do not affect them really. They're just ineffective. So the lasers are pretty cool on them, and they are quite formidable. So they and when when you first meet them in the hospital, it's terrifying because the music for the T-1000 from Terminator 2 plays, and you can't fight them. You have to sneak around them and get out of their way, and it's just my heart was in my throat. There are some really great action scenes, and just like I said, some intense stealth sections as well. And you can, if by option, just do full-on stealth if you want to. But it's not amazingly in-depth stealth, but it does do the job. Just basically keep out their eye line, because they'll look at you, and it will there's like a little meter that will register, and as soon as it's full, they've obviously then spotted you. But you can lose their line of sight and hide again, so it can be done. Weapons can be upgraded. Only certain weapons can be upgraded with different like little skill square attachment things which up the clip amount or damage done or reload speed, that kind of stuff, you know. Again, nothing too extreme, but it's nice to have that kind of stuff there. And genuinely, the game feels like a war, which is very important, and it's within the continuity of the movies. It feels a part of it. Essentially, if you're familiar with the beginning of Terminator Genesis, for example, where the Resistance are trying to attack Skynet, but before, obviously, and they sort of win, but Skynet send Terminators back in time. That's essentially what this film is. And John Connor does absolutely make an appearance. Kyle Reese does make an appearance in the DLC, which if you buy I advise buying the complete edition of it. That's really cool. There's also a really cool boss fight with the Terminator where he starts with all of his skin on, and then as you're fighting him, you're blowing all of his skin off in pieces, and then just reveals the endoskeleton underneath. And it's just really, really cool. And there is also a possible, if you want, a love scene. It's kind of awkward, but it's definitely there if you like to romance people in games. You have that option. There is also an infiltrator mode where you essentially play as a lone damaged T-800 model, so you're playing as the Terminator, and you have to go and terminate Daniel Ramirez and find information out for Skynet. So that it's not very long. It's quite contained, but it is pretty cool to be able to play as a Terminator in this world. But the story essentially is that you are Jacob Rivers, and you are part of the Resistance, and you escape from the ruins of Pasadena, and you get wound up in the Resistance and John Connor's plan. You're aided by a mysterious stranger. You'll probably figure out who it is very quickly, because you have been targeted for termination, just like John Connor has. So, and there's a bit of a mystery as certain people of the Resistance want to know why you've been targeted for termination, because that's kind of like a badge of honor. You must really be in Skynet's bad books. There's some great environments in the cities. You do get to go out into the in like a forested area, which is pretty cool. There is a decision that you need to make there as well. I think I made the wrong one, but you can. You can make the right one. And I just have to say that it's blatantly obvious that there's a big battle at the end. But when you're laying siege to Skynet, and you have the Terminator theme playing with all these other Resistance fighters, lasers flying, the T-800s, it is so cool. So damn cool. The game is not very long. I completed it, I think, in about 7 hours. And I didn't do all the side quests. I did do some of them, not all of them. But the game is not long. It's short, but it's sweet. And definitely worth picking up on offer. I wouldn't pay full price for it, because it is quite short. But just like with the RoboCop game done by the same team, they nailed it for fans. Like, if you haven't played the RoboCop game, I've made a video on that. That's a great game for RoboCop fans. And this Terminator game is a great game for Terminator fans. And hopefully they take hold of another 80s franchise, maybe Predator, and make a Predator game. That would be really cool. But please let me know in the comments down below if you have played Terminator Resistance. And as always, thank you very much for watching.